There's a secret way to open it.
I wanted a picture.
The love locket is the chain that connects the love between the boy, a peasant, and the girl, a duchess. Owing to their class difference, they've been forced to separate for 15 years. Hello everyone, I'm Anna, your cinephile host. After being separated from his love, the peasant boy keeps his promise to the duchess. He traveled around the world to find a trick that helps them to disappear and live together. When he comes back, the duchess is going to marry the crown prince, and the prince plots to overthrow his father to make himself the king. On an occasion when the prince takes the duchess to watch the magic show by the magician, now named Eisenheim the Illusionist, she was put on the stage by the prince to assist in the performance following the request of the magician.
Do you know me?
No.
You're quite certain that we've never met before?
Yes, of course.
Now please gaze directly into my eyes. Look nowhere else. Wave to yourself. Turn in a circle. Now bow to yourself. Away.
After the show, he was invited to meet the prince and the duchess. At the end of their conversation, he hints to her that he could make her disappear, which reminds her who the illusionist really is. So the two start to meet and love bursts. She tells him about the plan that the prince is plotting that urges him to take her away as soon as he can to prevent the prince from chasing them. In their plan, she irritates the prince on purpose while telling him that she's going to leave him.
I don't want to be part of what you're planning. And I will not marry you.
Don't disobey me!
Searching for life, but in vain, the magician found the body of the duchess lying in the water the next day. The royal family doctor found that she was hurt by a knife or a sword, which caused her to bleed to death. Eisenheim claims that the prince is the killer, but with no evidence. A few days later, he buys out the theater to perform a new show in which ghosts of the dead can be called back.
What has happened here?
One of those ghosts from the theatre down the street.
Yes.
Where?
Right there. A little boy.
After the chief inspector arrests the magician on charges of disturbing public order, the followers gather in front of the police headquarters. The inspector threatens to put Eisenheim in jail if the crowd attacks the place. Eisenheim thus publicly admits that the appearance of what the audience saw was nothing real. It's all his performance only. He cannot call the spirits of the dead back, so the chief inspector cannot detain him for fraud. The prince was angered by the impotence of the inspector. He eventually decides to go to the theater to crack the trick of the magician by himself.
Who are you?
Are you Duchess von Teschen?
Yes.
What's happened to you? She was murdered. Were you murdered? By who?
Did they arrest the right man?
Tell us, please. Who murdered you?
Someone. Here.
The prince was infuriated. He asked the inspector to arrest all members of the Eisenheim group the next time. So the inspector advises the magician not to call the ghost of the Duchess again. But Eisenheim promised him a good show only and authorized his manager to take care of all his assets before the next show begins. On the night of the show, Eisenheim the illusionist calls back the ghost of the Duchess on the stage once again. For the enforcement of the laws, the inspector decisively executes his duty. But when he steps up to arrest Eisenheim the illusionist, the magician illusionizes himself.
In the name of His Imperial Majesty and the city of Vienna, I hereby arrest Edward Abramovich, also known as Eisenheim the Illusionist, on charges of disturbing public order, charlatanism, and threats against the Empire. Stop it, all of you!
At the end, both the magician and the Duchess turn into non-existence. After the inspector found the locket belonging to the Duchess and an emerald dropped from the sword of the prince in the stable, all the evidence indicates that the crown prince killed the Duchess after he got drunk. The inspector reports to general staff of the king about the espionage and the murder of the prince to protect the justice and himself. The prince commits suicide before he is taken by the cavalries ordered by the general staff of his father. After leaving the royal palace the other day, the inspector bumped into a man when a boy was giving him an envelope with the magic secret. He realized all of a sudden that he was tricked by Eisenheim, and the illusionist is the man who just bumped into him. In the pursuit of the illusionist, he comprehends everything right in the instant.
Chief Inspector, there's one thing you should know.
Everything you have seen is an illusion.
trick.
The love locket is the chain that connects the love between the magician and the Duchess. Although magic is nothing but an illusion, everything you have seen is not real. It's a trick. But the love and the meaning the illusion brings to us is subject to be well received by love believers. What I see from this movie is that justice is served with a somewhat positive illusion. And it's not an illusion when justice is done. I'm Anna, your cinephile illusionist. I hope you've learned one or two things from this episode. You can find more on Funday website. See you guys there.
Hello, Sophie.
When I was on the stage, you knew me right away.
It took me a moment, but yes, I knew.
Could have said something.
I thought you'd figure it out eventually.
Yes, I would have. I would have come another night, volunteered, walked right on stage and said hello, and then you'd really have had to move quickly.
I suspect you would have.